Starting a food business from home can be super exciting and extremely lucrative, but it's also a big commitment. So here are 10 questions you should ask yourself before you actually get started with a cottage food business. And this goes for anyone in any state that's looking to create a home-based food business. We're going to dive into those 10 from number 10 down to the number one thing. So you want to watch this video all the way to the end, and we're going to get to it right now. All right, so welcome back to Cottage Foods Laws. This is YouTube's premier food entrepreneur channel dedicated to everything home-based food business. My name is Damian Roberti. I'm the founder and CEO of multiple YouTube channels actually dedicated to food entrepreneurship. We have a ton of channels here on YouTube. You can definitely check out those links for those other channels here down in the description. I'm going to dive into these top 10 questions from number 10 down to number 1. These are some things that you really should honestly give yourself a really bit of time to think about and to be honest with yourself about starting. It's not something that can be taken lightly. It is a full-blown business. It's definitely something that you can make money at and be profitable. In some states, they don't even have a limit. You can make as much as you want, $1 million if you can do that, which is fantastic. But these 10 things are definitely something you want to brainstorm and kind of think about. So let's start at number 10. Am I financially prepared? So are you prepared for the financial risks associated with starting a business, specifically a cottage food business? So do you have a plan to cover your startup costs and keep the business running until it becomes profitable? One of the biggest things that a lot of first-time entrepreneurs, I've been an entrepreneur now with my wife for almost 14 years, is the getting started is the most dramatic part. It's the most scary part. It's the biggest amount of money you'll put towards a business when you initiate it and start it, because when you begin to be profitable, little by little, those profits can help maintain and grow the business. But up front, you have a lot of money to put up front. But one of the great things, though, about having a food business at home is that it's one of the most inexpensive ways to get a food business up and launched, because a lot of what you already have are things that you can use. You don't have to rent the whole commercial kitchen. You've already got that. You don't need equipment, because there's a good likelihood you also have that too. So you want to just ask yourself, am I financially prepared for what could possibly happen if I put a few $1,000s into this business, or tens of thousands, and it doesn't work? Can you afford to lose that money? Number 9, do I have the time and energy to dedicate to a new business? So running a cottage food business, like any new business, can be demanding, not only in your time, but your emotions, your energy, your family time. There's a lot to it. And if you're actually working a job and you're wanting to start another business on the side, you have a lot of energy that you have to put towards that job as well. So you got to think about the time and energy it's going to take to launch this. And you got to ask yourself, are you ready to commit the necessary time and energy to make it successful? Number 8, how will I differentiate my products from the competition? So believe it or not, under cottage food laws, even in your own community, if you start selling at farmers markets or local events or whatever your state allows you to sell at, believe it or not, you've got competition. There are going to be other people who are selling food products. They may be similar to yours. They may be exactly the same. So what is going to separate you? So what makes your business so unique? And how will you communicate that uniqueness to your customers with your products? That's something that a lot of cottage food operators don't give a lot of time to. They don't think about that. That's a very, very good question. How will you differentiate your product when you're at a marketplace or maybe in retail stores? Some states like California, under Class B license, you can sell to retailers. What's going to make yours stand out on the shelf? You got to think about what's going to differentiate your products from someone else's. Number 7, do I have a clear business plan? So believe it or not, under cottage food laws, you don't have to legally make one. It's not required. But having a business plan is something I recommend no matter what type of business you're starting. I actually, unfortunately, to be honest with you, when I first started my first food business, I didn't create a business plan. And I wish I actually did, because it would have given me a little bit more of a roadmap to understand where I want it to be, what I have, what are the resources I have, what kind of a food business that I want to start. There's multitudes of food products and different things, so you want to be specific. So have you considered the costs, the pricing, branding, marketing, and other aspects of running the business? Because in a business plan, those are the things that you want to put in there. Super, super important. Number 6, how will I handle increased demand as my business grows? This is really a great question, because this is something that can make or break any business, because if you don't understand your scalability of your business or product, you can go out of business even when you're making a lot of money, because if you can't keep up with demand, then demand will look somewhere else for some other products. So if your business takes off, can you handle the increased workload? That's the question. Can your kitchen handle more production? Do you have a very small kitchen space, but you're getting thousands of orders? That's going to be a problem. So you might need to go into a commercial kitchen. You might need to rent one. But of course, at that point, you're not a cottage food operator anymore. Now you're a full-blown food business, and that's different. So how will I handle increased demand? That's a great question. Number 5, What are the health and safety regulations in my area? So something to think about too before you take the dive into this is educating yourself. Are you familiar with the local regulations in regards to your food business? And are you prepared to comply with them? Specifically cottage foods, laws are dictated by the states, okay? And then a lot of times the cities and counties have to either agree to that in some cases and sometimes they don't. So you have to understand what does your city and county really allow you to do at home and understanding them thoroughly so you don't really get in trouble. So that's definitely something you want to do. So what are the health and safety regulations in your area? Number 4, who are my potential customers? Now, that's a great question. And a lot of times, again, food entrepreneurs that start from home just have an idea for a product. They don't really think about, hey, who could use this product? And it's actually very important because you don't go to every single farmer's market. You will not succeed at every single farmer's market, and here's why. Not every farmer's market have the type of customers that are looking for your type of food product, believe it or not. So some cases you'll have to go to certain events. Not every event, if you've got a community that has all kinds of events during summer and spring, that doesn't necessarily mean that your product's going to sell like crazy. That's something that people kind of misconception about it. If you're selling a unique type of spice blend, but you're going to an event where nobody's there that actually would enjoy that type of spice blend, well, then that doesn't make sense to go. So who are my potential customers? Understand who's using them because that will help you figure out what events and things to do locally to sell to those customers because they're going to be there. They're not going to always be at every event. So number 3, so what type of food business do I want to run? So are you planning to sell baked goods? Even some cases in some states, you could sell home-cooked meals, preserves, jams, jellies, nuts, spices, or something else. Figure out what it is that you really want to make. Now, I would recommend that you obviously make something that people will enjoy, but you enjoy making because you're going to spend a lot of time making it. If you're going to spend a lot of time making something or doing something, you should enjoy it. Okay, what's the point of having your own business if you're not going to like it? Your choice will affect many aspects of your business, so including necessary equipment, ingredients, the type of packaging you're going to have, potential customers. All of that will be dictated based upon the type of food business that you're looking to start. Next up. Number 2, is my kitchen suitable for commercial use? Now, when I use the word commercial use, don't get it kind of misinterpreted. What I mean by that is, does your kitchen have enough space and necessary equipment to produce food on a large scale? So when you rent a commercial kitchen, obviously you want to scale a business and you want to develop a lot more product. But in some cases, when you use your home kitchen for your cottage food business, does it have enough space? If you had to increase, like I mentioned before, is it almost at the point where it's similar to a commercial kitchen so you can use it in a commercial way? That's what I mean. So you want to think about that as well. Now, lastly, but probably the most important thing, at least in my opinion, is do I have the necessary skills and experience? So do you have any kind of culinary skills and background in the food industry? Maybe you do, maybe you don't. If you do, you should capitalize on that. You should tap into those skill sets. Do you know how to prepare food safely and hygienically? Do you know how to package food? Do you know how to work with food in a sense that you could produce a large quantity of it? Do you understand scaling recipes? So these are skills. These are experiences. So if you've got those, you should capitalize on them. You should make a food business, start one from home because it's a very low investment up front. If it doesn't work, well, it's not a big deal because you know what, you tried and maybe it's just not for you. If you love to cook, that doesn't necessarily translate into a business, but maybe it does. So you have to evaluate your skill set and your experience. So that's number 1. So those are the 10 questions that I highly think you should sit down and ask yourself before you get into starting a food business at home or investing money and going any further. Be sure to evaluate all of these questions and be honest with yourself, okay? So if you have any questions, let us know down below, and be sure to subscribe because we have state-specific videos, and we're going to be launching all kinds of videos and great resources here on Cottage Foods Laws. I'll see you on our next video.